Alright, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are looking at the Sunday NFL 3-game slate for today, starting at 1 o'clock. Yesterday went extremely well, so I had to come out on here and make another video for today. So as always, if you enjoy the videos, appreciate it. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. You can check out Price Picks, use my code. Process for deposit match up to $200. You can check out the website if you want to join us. Check out Twitter for updates and just to stay more connected. Yesterday, ended up finishing with the 166.28 on Draftkings. It went very well. Josh Allen, Joe Mixon, Jacobs, Renfro, Boyd, Singletary were part of the core plays. Dawson Knox was super low owned. Had went with a cheap defense just to fit in some of these other guys. And then FanDuel cashed as well. Went with Burrow on FanDuel, but still made money. And then the showdowns went great. We went with the Buffalo stack and even hit some parlays, one of which I posted. Overall, very good day. You can't really ask for anything else. So let's get into today's slate. We have a lot more options today with it just being an extra game, and it just seems like at running back you have like 10 guys that have a chance to get you a touchdown or maybe even two. But looking at the quarterback position today, Patrick Mahomes is 73, going up against Pittsburgh. They're the favored by the most points today. They should be able to win easily against Pittsburgh, but KC had just like never covers for some reason. So I would take the 12.5 for Pittsburgh to cover that. Tom Brady 72 against the Eagles. Eagles against Brady. They've gone back since the Super Bowl, even before that. But missing a couple of his weapons. Leonard Fournette thought he might get activated, but he's not going to be. So they don't have Leonard Fournette. Mike Evans is the main wide receiver. They lost Grayson, so it's Mike Evans, Brashad Perriman, and Gronk as his main weapons to throw to. I probably like Mahomes more than Brady today, just at the top end. In the 6K range, I definitely like Jalen Hurts at only 61. I think you can go Prescott as well. I'm not really looking at Roethlisberger or Garoppolo much. I think these top four guys give you upside for north of 25 fantasy points. I'm going with Hurts, the cheapest of the bunch, gives you the most upside with the legs. And against Tampa Bay, they should be looking to control the ball, keep the ball in Hurts' hand. He's done a good job of not really turning the football over most of the year, only 9 interceptions. And he utilizes his legs a lot. You've seen some big games out of him. And he seems ready to just kind of take control of this Eagles team. He led them to the playoffs at the end of the year, playing great. And I just think 61 is just a little bit too cheap for a guy that can do exactly what like Josh Allen did with his legs yesterday, which is just running for like 60, 70 yards and maybe throw like 2 touchdown passes or 1 touchdown passes, running for a touchdown, and you're looking at 20 fantasy points. Running back, Najee Harris is 66. There's just a ton of running backs that are in play today. You have Harris, Elliott, Mitchell. Pollard's going to get some touches. Williams going to get touches. Now the Eagles have 3 guys: Sanders, Scott, and Howard. Probably like Sanders the most, then Scott, then Howard. Even Gainwell might get a touch or two. And then even on the KC side, they have McKinnon at 41 is going to get some work. They have Bernard got activated from the Bucs side. So there's so many guys at running back, but some of those guys might get you like 5 or 10 touches. You're not really sure how the workload will play out. I'm going to go with Najee Harris, who's pretty discounted. You know exactly what he's going to do. He's going to get all the running back work. He's going to get you probably 5 to 7 targets out of the backfield, get you opportunities to rush in for a touchdown, get a receiving touchdown. He's not really coming off the field like you might see with some of these other running backs. And 66 is not even that expensive, so he's the first guy. Another kind of bell cow running back that we have out of this group is Eli Mitchell, 57. He's gotten, ever since he's been healthy, 21, 20, 22, 27, 27. He's getting you 27 or at least 20 touches or at least 20 carries on the ground when he's healthy. And against Dallas, they should be looking to still run the ball. That's what they like to do, even with Garoppolo in there. Run the ball a little bit. He might get you some receiving work as well. He's definitely going to get you some goal line opportunities if they don't want to give the ball to Deebo Samuel like they have been doing recently. But at 57, it's really cheap for Mitchell as well. Wide receiver, Deebo Samuel looks to be the best guy out of the group to target. He's going to be the guy that I plug in just because he's doing everything, catching passes. He can run for 5 to 7 times, and that's going to be like anywhere from like 3 to 13 fantasy points if he's able to get into the end zone like he has. 3, or he's gotten so many rushing touchdowns. A lot of that was when Eli Mitchell was out, but even with Mitchell in some of these weeks, like last week against the Rams, he got a rushing touchdown and even threw for a touchdown. He's just doing everything, and they're going to be looking to get the ball in his hands. He's going to be the first guy I like, especially with Tyreek Hill. Not really been himself recently. He started off the year pretty good, but dealing with some injuries, not getting some targets some of these weeks. He's still a very good option for today in tournaments, but I probably like Deebo Samuel overall better. And Mike Evans, I like him too today, but he's going to be going up against Darius Slay, who did shut him out in the first meeting between these two teams. That was when they had other wide receivers like Godwin, and I'm sure they had Antonio Brown during that span. But now that Evans is the main guy, he should be looking at more targets. But I probably like Samuel the most. Then I might go Hill, then Evans. Deontay 67, CeeDee Lamb 63. They're fine. Probably like Deontay just getting more targets. Lamb, Cooper, they both look like good mid-range plays. You can also go down to Cedric Wilson at 43, who just seems to, every time that Gallup is out, he just seems to step up and play extremely well. He had 2 touchdowns against Philly. That was against their backups, but still, Prescott's looking his way. Probably will get you at least 6 targets today, so he's one guy that I like in the mid-range, or at least for the value picks. You could look to Devontae Smith also at 54, but I think I probably like Dallas Goedert more. Brandon Ayuk gives you upside. He's been, if you want to do like a full-on 49er stack, he's been a lot better recently in terms of just getting some targets and making some deep plays. And then in the 4K range, I like Wilson a lot. Perriman is going to be like the second wide receiver next to Mike Evans today, and he gives you upside as well, with Slay being on Evans. And then even in the 3K range, you have a couple of guys. One main guy, that's going to be Juju Smith-Schuster, who's back. I don't know if you need to go to him. When I saw his price tag yesterday, I'm like, he's going to be one of the best value plays, but there's so much value on the slate with running backs are cheap, the quarterbacks are not even that expensive, the tight ends are pretty cheap. So I do like Juju Smith-Schuster at 3,000, but I think he's not a must play because there's no crazy spend ups on the slate. The only guy you only have nobody on the slate is above 8,000, so it's not like you need a 3K value. But if you wanted to play him, definitely fine. And then moving on to tight end, you have so many good tight ends today. It might be a day where you plug in 2 tight ends, one in your obviously in your tight end spot, and another one in your flex spot. But looking at the group of tight ends, you have Kelsey, Gronk, Kittle, Schultz, Goddard, even Freiermuth. You have 6 guys that look very good today, that have an opportunity to be leading their team in, maybe not like Freiermuth and Schultz, maybe even Schultz, but still have an opportunity to get into the end zone and get you like 15 plus fantasy points. So out of this group, I might like Gronk the most. The Eagles are not good against tight ends. I'm sure they'll have Slay on Evans. It looks like Gronk will be free. Brady loves to target Gronk all year, especially when they were without some guys, except for against Carolina, where he just had 2 targets. And in the playoffs, he should be looking at Gronk a lot, so he's going to be the guy that will plug in here. I love Goddard's price at 44. He looks better than Freiermuth, looks better than Schultz, just saving some money. They should also be looking to target the tight end, and Goddard has stepped up nicely this year when his number's been called. And then at the top end, I would be looking at Kittle and Kelsey, obviously, if you can fit them into your lineups, but I think Gronk is my favorite. And then the second guy would probably be Kelsey, then Kittle, and then the value is definitely Dallas Goedert. Defense-wise, you have the Steelers and the Eagles at the bottom. I probably look to the 49ers as the cheapest defense just because they can get after the quarterback, get you some sacks, maybe force an interception or 2. But they'd be one defense that I would look to get to. And then maybe you can look to the Cowboys at 31 if you wanted to do that. The Cowboys can also force some turnovers. They can get to the quarterback at times, but a little bit less opportunity to get sacks than the 49ers, just with the 49ers have the better pass rush. Even the Cowboys have a couple of guys like Parsons and some other guys at the defensive end position. But those are the 2 that look pretty good. I mean, maybe if you want to be crazy, you can go with the Eagles, but yeah, that's like a little bit of a homer talking for myself. But that's it for the DraftKings side. I feel good about these 6. Getting a couple of bell cow running backs on a slate where you have a lot of guys that might not get you a ton of work. You have a lot of guys at wide receiver that look good. I'm gonna definitely Deebo Samuel. Wilson has a good value pick, and then Gronk just looking at probably 10 plus targets today. So that's it for DraftKings. Let's go over to FanDuel. All right, on FanDuel, quarterback options: Mahomes, Brady, both above 8,000. I still like Hurts at 77. So those are the 3 that I'm kind of interested in. Maybe you can go Prescott instead, but I feel like Hurts will probably have a rushing touchdown today, at least one, and he's going to be looking to make plays with his legs. It's not like it's a meaningless game. During the regular season, he'll be looking to put his body on the line. Running back, still like Harris at 8,000. Still like Mitchell. You know, you can go with Zeke if you wanted to. Williams at 66, going to get you some work, but they still have Gore there, and then they have McKinnon. Sanders, I feel like, didn't have any rushing touchdowns during the regular season. It wouldn't surprise me if he gets his first today, but he's might be a little limited on passing situations. I don't know because he was dealing with a hand injury, but it says he's good to go, so I'm assuming he's gonna get his full workload. And those are the main guys on FanDuel. I mean, you got like Vaughn, but I don't know how much you can trust him. But just give me the two guys that I mentioned on the DraftKings side, Harris and Mitchell, two guys that don't have their picture on for some reason, both rookies, but both give you upside for 20 plus touches. It's something that you can't really say the same about the rest of the guys. Wide receiver, I'm still looking to get up to Debo. He's only 87, only like 500 more than Evans, 800, 700 more than Tyreek Hill. I feel like he's going to have the best game out of the group. And then I'd probably go Hill and then Evans in terms of ranking them. 7K range, Cooper, Lamb, both playable. Sandwich in between Deontay Johnson. 6K range, you have Smith, Ayuk, Wilson as the group. Probably prefer Wilson and Smith than Ayuk. I do like Devontae Smith, but they just probably won't try to throw the football a ton until they have to. Whereas Wilson is going to be looking, that game has the highest total of the three, and he's already shown to have some big games without Gallup this year. And then for a value pick, I like Perriman at 52. See what the price tag on Juju Smith-Schuster is. He's 45. He's playable if you need to get to him, but again, there's so much other value on the slate that you don't need to. But for myself, I'm going to go back to Wilson at 6K. You're saving some money, and he's kind of even outperformed like Lamb and Cooper at times this year. If you have more money left over, then you can get up to those guys. But for right now, I have Wilson in there. And tight end wise, still like Gronk a lot at 74. Love the value on Goddard. Even Schultz gives you upside for touchdowns. But I'm going to plug in Gronk on both sides. And then defense-wise, still like the 49ers as a cheaper defense. 37, the Cowboys make some sense. At 41, those are the two that kind of have my attention. I don't think I want to go all the way up to the Chiefs. Paying up for defense you don't need to do that. As we saw yesterday, the Bills' defense was going nuts, and then they ended up the game with the same fantasy points as the Bengals' defense. So unless their defense gets you a touchdown, it's basically doesn't really matter. It just depends on who else you get up to. But that's about it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Best of luck today, and I'll see you all next time.